Marc Peard podcast.
Yes, kia ora everybody, welcome along to the Marc Peard podcast. If you're watching live on Facebook, live on YouTube, live on Twitch, kia ora. If you listen to us through the podcast system, wherever you get your favourite podcast, be it be iTunes, be it be Spotify, I'm not sure if that's how the saying goes, but be it be wherever you get it, welcome along and thank you so much for joining us. Hey, be a good mate, share this link with a friend. Get us on there. You would have seen us, if you were watching earlier in the screen, doing a little scissors, paper, rock three-way, which we don't know how the rules work on that, but Aish lost, which means Aish will this evening be running the alerts. That's the appreciation shuttle. So every time you share the stream, Gavin Slater has just done it. He's liked the stream. Brandon Mitchell has just liked the stream as well. You'll hear the gangster music in the background. And Aish will be headed down to run some appreciation shuttles out the door, back up and down, and so on and so on. Tonight we have a bit of a former, well, we were supposed to have former Heat star, small forward shooting guard, Matt Walsh, but he's left us in the dust. Apparently Miami gets thrashed and he doesn't want to be heard from. No, he may be calling through, so just FYI, he still may join us with that. Robbie, thank you for sharing the stream. We're going to definitely log that one, and A should be running some shuttles first. Let me get through the rest of what's coming up on the show. We've got CEO of the Warriors, Cameron George, giving his team appreciation. That's another one we're banking right there. Lance Orman. Lance, love your work, buddy. Sharing the stream. Aish has got 2 sets of shuttles to run already. And also, a man who will be charged with treason if he, in fact, goes along and wins the Ranfurly Shield this weekend. His name is Connor McLeod. We'll tell you why it'll be treason if he does, in fact, win it.
But without, guy?
Oh, no, not the UFC guy. Oh. But without further ado, let me introduce to you the rest of the crew.
Back passes at the line. Oh, intercepted by Ashford. Ashford's over halfway. It's Carney chasing. Ashford and Carney. Carney and Ashford. Ashford.
Here he is. The man who did it all in the NRL, Mr. Blake Ashford. Did it all.
I quite like that there's someone in the world who goes, Ashford pointed at me when I did that. When he got that try, that was at me, eh? Yeah, mate, it was.
I'm pretty sure I pointed
You
at
did
the
that to
seat.
someone.
Yeah.
Ash, any inspirational words for the people?
No
at home?
inspiration. I need some
None.
advice.
Okay.
Okay, so it happened to me this week. I was cooking lunch for me and my boys, school holidays. He was watching The Simpsons. And I was, okay. So I walked in and he goes, Dad, what's porn? So me being a young father myself, only 32, still quite immature, I sort of giggled, as you do, and go, oh, you're too young for that, son. How should I have handled that? Should I have just let him know? Or I can't remember that episode from The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Should I explain what porn was?
Because he might have been talking about chess. Go, they're the little ones at the front. In the first move, they can go 2 squares. Other than that, they just go 1.
So then
How old? How old again?
He's 8.
8.
That's
young, eh?
Is it when you take something along to a shop and they buy it off you?
Porn, yeah. Porn.
So maybe it's me. I didn't actually see or hear it. So maybe I'm taking that in the wrong way, and my dirty mind is immature.
Is there a pawn shop in The Simpsons? Was there something to do with pawning something off? Because that sounds likely.
Okay, well, I'm thinking I'm not.
I think there is a pawn shop in The Simpsons.
Yeah, well, I went with other porn.
There's
so.
the comic book, actually that is a pawn shop as well. You might do. Other than that, man, I would
maybe I'm
go,
just dirty.
Do you know? No.
You just turned it into something horrendous.
No. I think you're right. What you do is you do what everyone does, where you go, you should talk to mum.
Go talk to mum.
Mum. I should have. Yeah.
Mum's in there.
Thanks for that.
Yeah, that's what
Thanks for you great dads. You.
That's how you do
Look at us, we're winners.
We've got a nice staff. Yeah. Be prepared. We're a woggle.
It's just paper rock.
Oh, the real effect. NATO. Thank you so much. The real effect with a share and a like of the stream. You can run your 3 now. We can appreciation shuttle. Well, you can hear it while you're running in and out. You'll be fine.
Okay.
Square.
On this day in history, in 1953, this is why on this day your granddad went, remember he was a young man then, I was going to just go to my bedroom for a bit, and then disappeared up the hall.
There's another one, Mark Hunter. Like the stream. Thank you, Mark. Thank you.
Because on this day in 1953, Playboy magazine was founded by Hugh Hefner purely for the articles, and it actually featured a photo shoot of a young Marilyn Monroe who'd had to have photos done in the nude to pay her rent about 5 years ago when she was an actress. And dirty old Hugh bought those. But here's the thing. Do another one.
Another one. Thank you, Brendan.
He actually borrowed $1,000 off his mum to start it. So this is why I said that the best thing to do is actually to go and ask your mum, because Hugh Hefner, not only did he go like, what's porn? He was like, hey mum, can I have $1,000 to sell porn? And he did. So Playboy magazine 1953 started on this day.
Wowza.
I missed all that, but it's a porn show.
Now it's just Google image.
Awesome.
Bloody halfback Brad Weber committed treason with Waikato.
Waikato. He did too when he won it off us. Yes,
Ian.
thank you. Thanks, Horse. You're right.
Very, very good point.
Someone asked before too about the this is not Boston, okay? This is not. And you
yes. Go on to it, Nate.
Do not.
Down you go, Nate.
Do another one.
You're up, buddy.
You're legit. So I'm not.
Samuel.
It's not segments.
No, it's every single time someone likes the stream. We can't help it if people like it.
No, they love it. Yeah, so this is the cap of the Dodgers, and the Dodgers were in action today. So that's why I've got the sign. It is not a Red Sox.
So they're originally.
They are originally from Brooklyn. They were the Brooklyn Trolley Dodgers because of all the trams that used to go around. So that's why they were called that. The Trolley Dodgers, and then that became the because how they have like the New York Giants football and New York Giants baseball.
Yes.
So the New York Giants baseball team moved out to San Francisco the same year that we moved out. So when I say we, the Dodgers moved out over there. Yeah. So this is Brooklyn. This is the Jackie Robinson. This one. This is super hat.
See, people need to know this.
Yeah, they do.
They can't be throwing that hat out there.
Boston has the red B. We have the pretty one, which is nice, and we won today, so that's cool. Let's go.
All right. Well, before we get to Connor, who is obviously clearly going to be waving the Hawkesbay flag, as you two are as well. Yes. We'll get to some what we like to call the Peard lines, and then we'll get into fight card.
Okay.
Obviously, an exciting fight card late last week, and it blew up everywhere. So I can't wait to hear the results. So basically the Peard lines are, this is how I've consumed the Peard line. It's any headline, sporting headline, any sort of headline goes through my brain and I spit it out this way and how I explain it.
Okay,
Peard line number 1, Ricky raw dogged.
Yeah.
He deserved
Yeah,
it.
he did.
I don't want to hear any of his bitching afterwards. He's not fair. He's unprofessional.
Craig
Just-
Rogers,
yeah.
Big 49ers fan. Issue us another, another appreciation show.
Yeah, yeah.
He got up, like, he talked shit about Izzy the entire way through. Got in there, and I've watched that fight about 9 times. He looks so nervous on his way. You can see him when he's walking. He's like, he hasn't got it. But even with the touch the gloves before the fight, doesn't do it. Backs off. It's like, all right. And if you're Izzy, what, are you supposed to turn it off that quickly?
Mate,
He was mad at that guy.
Mate, how annoying is it when that's my pet hate for fighters, when they get kicked in the leg, you could see his leg was broken. It was bruised after 4 kicks.
Yeah.
And then he's like,
No, it doesn't matter.
nothing, don't feel it,
And
don't feel it.
Then it's almost like, well, move then.
Yeah, exactly. Cat.
I don't know how
cat.
about you guys, how you consumed it, but
Yeah.
I was
I
so
watched it
nervous.
live.
I had the whole
Yeah.
family watching it, actually. Well, I know it's could be frowned upon to have your whole family watching, but I wanted to explain to them just how well this dude had done and how how he was representing us on the world
Yeah.
stage and how exciting this was. My
All
wife
the boys
wanted to
did,
watch
actually.
it.
All
Yeah.
the boys did that went over, I reckon.
Totally. Yeah.
They were awesome.
Miss 9 loves watching the stuff. She really does. Miss 12 not quite so much. But she really enjoyed it today because their favourite TV show is the program The Last Airbender.
Oh yes.
Which is it? And then I showed her a video and I said, look, this guy lives in the neighbourhood where you go to school and this is his favourite thing. So she was like, oh, it's awesome. He moves like it. So she understood all the earthbending stuff. She said, oh, that's an earthbender move and stuff. So
Right.
she said if she sees him, she's going to do a waterbender at him. I don't know what that means.
Andy Smith, thank you.
Thank you.
Jake. Oh,
Jupiter
Mr.
Tocker.
Tocker.
I'm keeping record, all right?
Oh,
Just
you're
so
going to run them
know.
in, you like to run them in sets, eh?
Sets.
JP, you want to hang around JP? JP does a lot of rugby commentaries down in Wellington, and JP,
In
we're
relation to Dennis.
I'm not
Remember
sure.
Dennis Tocker used to play in the midfield for Wellington in the 80s.
Maybe.
I think he is. yeah.
Lethal player.
JP, by all
JP
means,
is-
any
yeah.
relation.
Love Dennis.
We do have a chat coming up with Liam Napier as we talk about the future of what Super Rugby will look like in 2021. And 2022 will blow your mind, considering what we've been putting up on the page and what we believe, or what I believe anyway. And speaking of which, the next headline, New Zealand Rugby's got new mates now.
Yeah.
We'll go deeper into that one, but they do.
Stupid.
This guy is sour because we're casting out Australia and going, oh, well, we'll just take the force then.
Well, because
You guys are going to be dicks.
So here's what I think happens. Because you know how first off it looked like they were going like, right, we're going to flex our muscles and we're going to do just our own rugby thing.
Yep.
And then South Africa said, okay, and then they've gone and upped it, and now they've gone, all right, we're off to Europe.
You were
It's
always
like,
going
heck.
there, yep.
And Australia were like going, New Zealand, whatever. So now New Zealand's gone like that back. This is so Sansa. This is exactly how they are. They've been like the worst flat in the world. No one wants to go shopping. It's never anyone's turn to do the dishes. South Africa pays for everything because they're the one with the money. But we're like, we're the best cook. And then we make these awesome meals and then we leave a really shitty mess in the kitchen. Like that is how the Sansa flat works. Like none of this surprises me.
How does this hurt Australia? Like we got rid of the force and the Chinese lions. Like it's not. It's what is this doing to Australia? Nothing.
Well,
But
now
no
you've just
one
got
wants to watch
no
your
one-
product of rugby.
You've just
the
got-
only
The
way
Australian
you got
people do.
Queensland and the Brumbies.
What? No, they don't. Australia doesn't
I
go
know,
to
that was,
rugby.
okay, that was a total lie.
That's
Yeah, but-
horrendous.
I thought it was really. I'm not a fan of the the Chinese Bay of Plenty team, Beijing
Yeah,
of
that's
Plenty.
that's just that's a strange one. All right,
No,
well, we're going to
maybe
we'll revisit that with
Oh, we
Liam
will?
Napier.
Okay,
Yep,
okay.
shortly on the show. Next paired line, COVID about to take its first L. Ooh.
COVID about to take its first.
Okay.
Please get it wrong. Please get it wrong.
Oh, I'm
This
gonna
will be
get
the
it
first
wrong.
time I've stumped you.
I'm gonna get it wrong. Nate will probably get it right.
COVID about to take its first.
I don't
L.
know. COVID got knocked out by something.
Yeah.
It's about to have a team that's fully infected, as in the Titans, and still the NFL is going to play through this. They've what they've done is they've postponed the game. They're going to try and play it out on Tuesday. Remember, they have.
Oh,
had
they'll be over it by Tuesday, yes.
4 players have tested positive. 5 staff members have tested positive
so
within
that
the
whole
Titans.
team's- yeah.
So the team's ripped, but COVID's about to take the L because it's trying to mess with the NFL.
Yeah, the
America's
game stops for no one.
It stops for no one.
stop for no
They're
one,
about
you're
to
right.
go ahead and play that game against Pittsburgh, no matter what.
Well, if I'm Pittsburgh, what a master stroke. I mean, who wants to tackle them if you're from Pittsburgh? Like, the defensive line of Pittsburgh is lining up about, like, at least 2 meters. Well, they don't have meters. They don't know what that is, do
No,
they? At
it's all
least
yards.
8 yards or whatever it is
It's
away.
all yards.
Yeah.
All right, 2 more. Knights shock the world.
Yeah. Yeah, Knights
all
beat
on
the
you,
Rabbits. Knights beat the Rabbits this week.
Aish is
Let's
picking.
go.
It's
Go
a-
Newcastle.
It's big money too, isn't it? It's about $3.40.
It was about $4. Yep, something like that. I don't know. Hey,
Tell us briefly why you think the Knights will beat the Rabbitohs.
well, I haven't rated the Rabbitohs all season, and they've proved me wrong the last 6 weeks. But I just reckon I've got this feeling in my gut that Mitchell Pearce, Kalen Ponga, and the forward pack are going to turn it on. They're going to turn it on and
mate.
make me
Badiris is
not a
still-
millionaire, but they're going to make me, a couple hundred.
How many appreciation shuttles have you got slaved up there?
3.
Three. Okay, that's right.
Don't try and work
I'm just
it up.
saying. I'm just saying. Anyone want to like the stream? Anyone want to share the stream? By all means. Appreciation shuttles run by Aish tonight.
Yeah.
And finally, in the Peard lines, and we'll be heading over to Connor very, very shortly. A Hawkesbay representative going off to take the shield. This one for you, Nato, and I reckon you'll get this. Lightning about to strike twice in LA. What have I done
Sorry,
there?
you said Lightning, and I was about to get all angry about ice hockey, but because
Well, it's slightly ice hockey, isn't it?
Because the Wanker Bay Lightning won the Stanley Cup. But no, this is the double LA because we've got the Lakers and the Doyers in the playoffs there, and they're both looking pretty damn good.
Pretty damn good.
Pretty damn good to
So
go through and win it
Lightning
all.
win the Stanley Cup.
Yeah, hate
it's
them.
about to strike twice in LA. You
Yeah.
could have the Dodgers
Yeah.
winning themselves the Major League Baseball,
Doyers!
and then seeing the Lakers play today. Yikes!
It's series over.
Yeah.
Not that it was
Not
a
even
series
given a
before.
chance.
What happened to Bam from because remember Tyler Hero was the amazing story and all that. Did he post an all-time record plus minus today of like minus 38 or
Did
something?
he?
Yeah.
Who? Tyler Hero.
Tyler
He
Hero.
was bad today.
And he was calling himself a bucket. So those blokes.
But still, he's
Oh,
dating
Rosie.
that
Thank
other.
you, Rosie.
He's dating Kuzma's old girlfriend. No way.
Yeah, look at him. Look at him
How
go.
about
Aish, you might as well run those appreciation shuttles for the folks at home, and we'll get into our Zoom call. Assuming that the Zoom calls are ready to go.
Okay.
Now, Nato, this was a special treat for you because obviously you've always been a Hawkesbay homer boy. Hastings, born and bred. Am I right?
No,
in
I was
saying
actually
that?
born in Wellington. But
Born in Wellington.
Yeah.
But brought up.
Yes.
Hastings Boys High.
Yes. Friendly school. Friendly school is much alive, and its students work and strive to maintain a school of spirit for those that follow to inherit.
Wowza.
Actually, that's how it goes. And then head to Tonga Intermediate.
Good for you.
Ba-boom.
I think Campion College or Kapiana Kariti in Gisborne, we were in Christ we are alive.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't really know.
It's nice.
too
We had a
much
little
more
oak
of it.
tree as our symbol there at Friendly School. It was very nice.
I will just wait for Aish to get
Okay,
back.
Ash is coming back from his shuttle runs. He's there. Yeah, there he is. Okay, good man. All right.
All right, tonight, joining us live out of the Bay.
Yes.
He's managed to quieten his flatmates. He can't see us, but we can see him.
Right.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Oh,
Connor
that's weird for
McLeod.
Connor.
Yeah, Connor, sorry you
Because we've
can't
got
see
dressed
us.
up for Connor tonight. We're wearing our Bay jerseys.
You're wearing there's two Bay jerseys here.
Bye.
That's what we're doing.
Connor, mate, thank you so much for joining us. I mean, it's a pretty strange weekend for you, I'm sure, considering you're about to head to Otago and try and rip the Ranfurly Shield away from a team that you know so damn well.
Yeah, it is. It's pretty exciting. I was down there last year, so I know a few of the boys pretty well. So the chat has started.
The chat has started.
Yeah.
I can only imagine.
So,
Mate, what can you
Yeah.
tell us a bit about yourself for people who aren't familiar with where you've come from, what you've been up to, starting with your junior rugby roots, what high school you kind of attended. That's the beautiful thing about Mitre 10 Cup is that we get to learn some players who we wouldn't normally get to see out there on our screens. So tell us a bit about yourself, my man.
yeah, sure. So I went to Twyford School in Hastings and played for HRF as a young fella. And then went to St John's College in Hastings, which was a good school. Had a great year group, good bunch of boys, and played some footy there. But at first 15, I think I was started in year 12. But yeah, I was pretty small in high school, so didn't make any rep teams, sort of in terms of Hawkesbay. And then went down to Otago for university. After year 13, and that's when I made the under 19s down there. Played in the Jock Hobbs tournament, which was pretty cool, especially being in a team like Otago that was pretty stacked with Thomas Umaga Jensen and those sort of fellas. And then played a bit of Otago Bees for a couple of years and got my shot last year. through a couple injuries for the top team. So yeah, it's just a lot of grinding and enjoy my time playing for the Bookworms down there. That's the university side.
Yep.
Yeah, it's unreal times and great bunch of boys from all over the place. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
What was
Now I'm
it
in the
that
base.
What was it that brought you home?
Oh, I think when I was down in Dunedin, I started missing Hawkesbay because it's home and it's a good lifestyle. It's relaxed and
It's too cold down there, eh? It's too cold. And
yeah,
everyone
it is
down
cold,
there is all
especially-
carried away with their cheese roll. Oh, have a cheese roll. Look, it's rolled up bread with some fucking cheese and marmite in it. Have that. Hey, yeah, they shove it in your face. They shove it in your face down the corner. Hey.
yeah, different breed down there, the South Islanders. Yeah,
That's
so
awesome.
I think you get sort of the student bubble is really cool, but after a few years, you get a bit over sleeping in a puffer jacket and
Oh yeah.
the cold flats and all that.
Actually, this is that's really where we need to go with this. I think, Peard.
The flats.
Blake. Tell us the legendary.
Tell us some flats.
Yeah, so Blake needs to so you've got to educate Blake here, our Aussie mate here, to educate him about the student flat life in Dunedin. And if yours, maybe you had a nice flat, but was there an absolute complete grot hole that you went around to? Tell us.
Any stories? I'm all ears, man.
No, so in first year when you go down, you get to choose, but most go into a hostel, so it's all nice and pay about $170 a week and get fed and get unlimited heating and Wi-Fi and all that stuff.
I can see where you
Heating like it's
Hang
a
on, wait.
luxury.
Yeah, I was going to say, pause that, Connor. I can see that.
A
But
luxury.
when you mention things like unlimited heating in year one, I'm like, oh shit, I know what's happening in year two here, and I'm scared. I'm already scared.
Yeah, you use your money's worth in the first year.
So what happens? So you leave that set up in year one, and then you got a couple of mates who you're in class with that you're like, fuck it, let's roll together, let's do this. Or is that how it worked?
Yeah, that's sort of how it works. I just naturally you just find people you mix with well, and footy helped me with that definitely because it's quite hard at the start when you leave home and the hostel's pretty big and there's a lot of people. So over time you find your group, and playing footy allowed me to meet some pretty cool guys. So I was in a flat. I was 5 boys that played for the varsity club.
5 dudes
And,
in a flat.
Yeah,
Yes.
Was that year 2?
and it was yeah. So you guys have probably heard of Castle Street.
Yes.
I was just around the corner from that.
So did you guys have like
a
one
lot
of those?
traffic.
Was there one of those street parties out there where everyone's out on the street and stuff gets burnt and just to keep people warm, like you burn your couch and stuff? There was those.
Yeah, I just saw on the news there was another couch burning. So
Well, hold up. So it's not Mad Monday or anything. Is this just like weekday? We go and burn couches?
oh yeah, I wasn't a part of any of that. Just making that clear.
Yeah, of course not. No, of course
Yeah,
not.
not
at all.
Yeah, nah.
Not Connor.
Yeah.
'Cause that's-
No, but if, it's like off the movies, eh? Some of the parties, it's just a 2-story flat is just packed with people spilling out onto the street, and it's crazy,
so
eh?
if I don't go to the university, am I can I get in? Am I allowed just to cruise into one of these houses and just parch up and just
Yeah. Well, the door's open 7 days a week.
Mate, we got to take a
Along
trip.
Castle Street.
Hey, mate, I don't know.
Oh.
Like, you don't want to be the oldest man on Castle Street. Like, that's such
weird.
a. It's like being the oldest man in
Yeah.
Courtney Place or the oldest man on Queen Street. Like, that's just such
I still
a
look a bit
terrible
18 though.
You do actually.
you do.
You
You
get
look
away
just
with it.
like
You
18.
get away
Yeah,
with it.
yeah.
Did
Nah,
you-
it's mostly full of second years.
Did
And
you have
then
a
after second year, you sort of migrate somewhere else.
right? Did you have a party where anyone rode a motorbike in through the front door and tried to get it up the stairs? Because that'd be pretty good. I'm just thinking with a 2-story flat.
A scooter? Can we go scooter?
Yeah, or
More
a scooter, anything
student-y.
like that. Anyone come in and do a burnout in the kitchen or anything in the scooter?
No, I haven't,
You want
no,
to
I
try
haven't
that?
witnessed that actually.
That's quite good. You
Yeah.
need beer just to lube it up the floor.
Yeah.
floorboards.
Talking
Sounds
about
like
the motorbike and the carpet. Yeah.
Connor, can I ask a
Yeah.
question about nicknames? I'm sure, like, there's always great nicknames going around rugby teams. Did you garner any? Did you get any great nicknames? And also, can you name some of the flat members that you had when you were down there for year 2? Can you give them a
what
shout
you would
out?
know them as?
Yeah,
Not like, hello, Brian. Like,
Yeah.
what do you know him as? Like, hey, Power Rooter. Like,
Power
you know,
Rooter.
what was the nickname?
Big Penji, Sam Penne.
Big Penne?
You know his old man, Aaron Penne.
Aaron
the-
Pinnock, yes.
Plays for All Blacks.
Awesome number 8.
Played with his son. Yeah, you could call him the Power Rooter. He's a big unit. And then old Clappers, Tom Clapcott, he was the mother of the flat in second year.
Oh, that's
We
nice.
actually used to have a competition of filling up the bin as high as we could until Don would change it.
And what was the rule? Like, you, so long as you could walk away and leave the bin and it was stacked and nothing fell out of it, you were clear?
Yeah.
Like a game
as long as it didn't fall over.
like a reverse game of Uno.
Yeah, to be on your skates. Yeah.
Oh, man. That's
Actually,
awesome.
Aidan McLaughlin's just brought up a good point here on the messages. And did Geordie Barrett ever just walk into your flat?
No, he didn't.
Oh.
He would have been welcome.
Yeah.
Open up a space for him and had a good yarn.
Yeah, well, he would have bought the McDonald's, so that's good.
Totally.
Yeah.
Mate, what's the feel in the team? I hate these kind of questions. But
Feel.
what's going on in the pack this week? Is it any different knowing that there's such a reward up for grabs? And we're all about this. I mean, we got Shield fever.
Because you must have watched the Taranaki game and gone, oh, you beauty. Hey, that's us.
Yeah. No, I was keeping an eye on it, but it's just been just the usual week, really. Obviously, after win with Canterbury is good for the team environment. Good teams are winning teams, so there's always a buzz around. But in terms of the Shield, it's been mentioned, but we're sort of just back into our work and focusing on ticking the boxes during the week. And I guess the Shield's a bonus if we do perform well. Yeah.
Did you ever imagine in your year 2 down in Otago that you'd be saying things like ticking the box and giving us that,
You got to do that.
those chats?
Typical rugby chat.
It is because Coach Isaac should be watching.
Should we
going,
fuck
"Very
the
good."
Shield and just talk more about the flats and
Let's go
stuff
back
like
to
that?
Nah,
man, I understand.
I'm a code here, so it's pretty standard for me.
Yeah.
Well, so we've got some advice. Horse wrote in before, and I thought it was quite a good one too. Horse Senior, he wrote in and did a thing too. Like you got to be careful if you win, because like you don't want to be standing around the naked Kurt Baker when they want to take a photo afterwards, because you've seen what he does, right? You know what he does with victories and
Gets in the
trophies
shoulders, eh?
and shields. So you don't want meat and 2 veg in the back of your head. So if I'm you, I'm just being slightly. Has anyone already? Like who would be holding him up? Would you volunteer? Is that is that one of the props? Is that who holds him up there? Is that like Joe?
Nah, it's probably one of the wingers. The back three get along quite well.
Yeah.
They all shout together and all that. So.
Yeah, true. Well, I mean, Visanier is a big guy, so he could hold him up quite easily. Good.
Practice in the shower.
Yeah.
Isn't it a precarious conversation that we have right now about Kurt Baker's habit of taking off his clothes?
Oh, it's a great
and
habit.
just squishing it up on the back of your neck. And Connor, would you trade the Shield just like if you knew that moment was had to happen? Would you say actually no, we're good without the Shield, or would you take some balls on the back of the head? It's up to you. I mean,
I'll take the balls.
you'll take the balls. Well, there's no disrespect in that at all.
Not at
The
all.
Shield, mate.
Yeah, it's the Shield. Hey, tell the last second, I was just going to say, that last second in that Canterbury match, man, that try.
I
Like,
know, and I was like that. I had my arms raised for like 2 minutes in the
it felt
lounge.
like the entire bay, like players, orchardists, anyone around that would actually jump on the field and help push that ball over. Like, that was an incredible moment, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I'll get up off my seat as well.
Oh, you'll crack it this week, mate. You'll crack it this week. Where do you feel?
Yeah, hopefully, yeah.
Where's your heart at? I mean, I know you have to be right now, Hawkesbay, but how much of you still lives down there in Otago, heart-wise?
Nah, it's Hawkesbay, yeah, definitely. Yeah, probably just the mates that are still down in Otago. It's, yeah, I'm not too sure, actually.
You haven't had a chance to even think about that.
No, I haven't thought about that.
Who would you like to take a quick cheeky jab at on the Otago side? If you get in there and there's someone on the other side that you just shank him slightly, just a little into the kidney, or if you got a chance.
Yeah. Let's give him a Joe
Would
Marler.
be Josh Timu.
Josh Tim.
All right, I'm gonna write
Keep an eye
that
on
down.
that. Keep an eye on that. Keep an
He
eye
used to
on
bully me at uni.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Oh.
Polly.
Nice. All right, you lads done?
Oh, that's Johnny's son. So, hang on, you play for Hastings Racing Sports. You guys won the Bay comp.
Yeah,
this year,
yeah.
didn't you?
Yeah, we did. Yep. Played Chowder in the final.
Nice, so good. It's just because
Yeah.
normally it's Napier Old Boys Marist
There
that
you
win,
go.
and it was lovely not to see
Could
that
be
happen.
2, maybe 3 titles in 1 year.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. Like, you're on winning form. This is good. You like the genie. Good on
Yeah.
you.
Get him in. Get him
No,
in.
excited.
All right, Connor. Hey, mate, thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for your time. We appreciate it. Thanking to your flatmates as well for not coming in, bursting into the room. I know you said you got a couple of rowdy ones in there, so we appreciate that. Thanks for sharing your story with us, and we'll all be watching. We all feel invested when we get to have a chat with people who we wouldn't usually get to, but we'll be invested in your career now, and we want to make sure that it all goes well. And good luck. Good luck for the Big Shield Challenge.
St. John's.
No, thanks very much. I enjoyed it.
Sweet,
Cheers,
brother.
thank you.
Cheers, mate.
We'll talk soon. Oh, man.
Look at our old workmate Josh Price. He was a St. John's College fellow.
Was he just?
Matthew Cooper, Matthew and Greg Cooper, the ex All Blacks and rugby commentator types. They were St. John's College folk.
I think
Pretty
I,
storied.
Yeah.
I think
Very
I like
interesting.
Otago.
Yeah, what do you mean?
Like the.
You like the idea of the
university.
nightlife, right?
Yeah.
The personality.
Is it?
It's raw. I think
Yeah.
that's the best way of describing it. It's raw. Any
So
of my friends that went down there were usually the dudes who were not afraid of A, the cold, and B, just absolutely
I read,
slaughtering themselves.
I read Brad Ellis. Is it Brad Ellis' book?
Andy Ellis?
No, got this wrong.
Brett Easton Ellis.
He played for Otago, played for the Warriors. The winger.
Oh.
Ellis, is it?
Oh, Mark Ellis.
Mark Ellis.
Yes,
Mark
yes.
Ellis. Sorry, Mark. Sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah, I read his book. It's actually a pretty good book. He talks about it in it.
Yeah, he very much embraced that lifestyle because he was from
Yeah.
Wellington College. He was actually quite a fancy guy, but then he went down to Otago
Very loose.
and got very loose down there as well.
Yeah, I'm not surprised that you didn't know his name, though. It was like he was probably the biggest thing in New Zealand
Yeah,
for
oh,
a good
sorry,
10-year
mate.
period, you know. Let's move through. This is embarrassing. Let's get straight into the fight card. Whoa, what about that time? That time.
Okie dokie. So remember that time that I asked what was bigger out of Scrabble and Triv?
Oh, man, that was
Yes.
mighty. Because, of course, we've headed into school holidays.
Yeah,
Many
we have.
things to distract people.
School holidaying going on. So Triv is the game of New Zealand. New Zealand loves Triv.
Yeah.
Triv shoot.
Trivial Pursuit.
But also going on right now. So, you've got all extra jobs to do and stuff during the holidays. And actually, what's one of these 2 domestic jobs? Because do you just hate doing the most? Washing dishes in a sink or hanging out washing?
Say those again.
Look, neither of these are terrible things that are going to hurt, but they're just a real Which
Can
one
we
is
do them in a voice that's telling us to do them so that we get angered by them?
which one is the biggest Wash the dishes. Don't use the dishwasher. Do them in the sink. Or, oh, those are wet. They've been there. Hang them out. You got to hang those out. Take them out and hang them out. Which one is actually just a bigger ache for you to do?
I do both every night.
You got to do a run.
Yeah, I'll mark it down.
Mark it down. Thanks, Kevin.
I do both every night. I'm gonna go dishes. I hate the dishes.
I hate the dishes too.
hate it.
Lock
And
me
I
in for
can't
dishes.
use the dishwasher.
Why?
The dishwasher, we just don't use it. I don't know.
Oh.
We stack them up and then
Then
dry
you-
them
then
the
you
old
sink it.
old school way.
Old school
I
way.
hate it.
Oh,
I hate
Yeah,
it.
can we sink a little deeper into this? What do you mean you can't use the dishwasher?
you-
Oh,
got
there's just something wrong with it. It doesn't work, and we can't be bothered getting it fixed.
No, get it
So-
fixed,
Get it
please.
fixed.
Because the great thing about the dishwasher is you can stack all your dirty dishes in it and don't
Yeah.
worry about it.
But we don't. So at the moment, for the last 3 years, I've been doing it in the sink, then drying, and the old school way. Well,
Yeah.
but I hate it. I hate it.
I could imagine so. All right, let's move through. I can't don't you rent? So wouldn't it just be getting a landlord onto it and just saying, hey, mate,
Oh,
can you
mate,
get it fixed?
I just do what I'm told. Yeah.
Okay.
I hate hanging clothes out.
It was exciting news today. It was very exciting news, and I had to catch up with Liam Napier about this. He released
we
a
do
story
have
on the
Warriors
New Zealand
chat
Herald.
coming up. Someone asked before.
Oh,
We do-
yes.
It is coming. It is.
Yep, we've got Cameron George coming up shortly. But exciting news out of Super Rugby's future. There was a story released on New Zealand
Yeah.
Herald today, broken by our own Adrian Wojnarowski, Liam Napier.
Nate bomb.
The Nate bomb. He dropped a Nate bomb on
a
what's
Nate
going to be
bomb.
I like that.
Napalm? Napalm.
Napalm.
Napalm. I love that.
Napalm.
Yeah. Okay, so this was me having a quick chat with Liam just quickly because he's got a whole lot of deadlines that he had to get to. So here he was. Can you let us know a little bit about what you've heard going forward into 2021 and then the changes looking forward to 2022?
Yeah, there's never a dull moment in rugby at the moment. Today's no exception to that. So yeah, 2021. I guess first of all we're going to see Super Rugby Aotearoa again, which is great news. It was a brilliant competition, probably the best domestic competition we've ever seen in the world. So that's great. It's going to have a final as well, which would have been nice this year. The Crusaders won the title, but they would have had to face off against the Blues. So good addition. And then the potential for crossover games against the Australians, home and away against each of the Australian teams, but that hasn't been agreed. Of course, there's major ructions between New Zealand and Australia at the moment, so not sure where that will end up, but I think they'll get that signed off. And then for 2022, it's a whole nother kettle of fish, and New Zealand Rugby had an expressions of interest process. They had 8 bids or applicants for that. They've narrowed that down to a short list of 4, and that includes, as you mentioned there, the South China Lions. You can just imagine the mascot. They want a Pacific team, still committed to that. Couldn't get it over the line for next year, which will disappoint a lot of people. I think New Zealand Rugby and Southern Hemisphere Rugby owes it to the Pacific to bring a team into Super Rugby. So the sooner the better with that. They didn't agree to that because apparently the time frame was too compressed to get a competitive team up and running, and also the financials weren't convincing at this point. So there's 2 bids there from Moana Pacifica and Kanaloa Hawaii, who are both backed by various All Blacks and have support from Tongan and Samoan former Governor Generals and the like. So a lot of connections there. Also, the Fiji Jura are another potential addition. They won the Australian domestic competition in 2018. They would be based in Suva, so I think that was in the Western Force. Jumping shark from Australia and saying they want to come and join the Kiwis. So I guess the interesting element linking the South China Lions, which would be based in Bay of Plenty, and the Western Force, is that they're both backed by the Australian mining billionaire Andrew Forrest. So New Zealand Rugby clearly wanting to tap into his extreme wealth and have a bit of a sugar daddy there. But yeah, I guess there's major questions around whether these teams will be competitive, the credibility of them. New Zealand Rugby, when they opened up that expression of interest process, and they only wanted a couple of Australian teams, and they really, pissed them off about that. They did that when they did that. They said, we're worried about the competitiveness of the Australian teams. And when you look at some of these new additions, you'd have major question marks about them in that regard. So, yeah, certainly a lot to take in and a lot of water to flow under the bridge before 2022 and 2021 is confirmed. But interesting times.
That's 2022 is such a massive, it's such a massive milestone. If that happens, it's almost like we've lost South African, the South African input, and we've found new friends, right? We're like, well, we'll fill the boat with these people. But have they thought through the fact that it's never really been the travel has been such a massive thing with all rugby?
Yeah, that's right. And COVID, can we get these teams? Can you travel to Australia? Can you go to Fiji? The South China Lions are meant to be playing in Hong Kong and Shanghai. Let's talk about a Pacific team potentially playing in Sydney and Hawaii. These are major restrictions that we've got on us at the moment. Will they be lifted? We don't know. So yeah, major question marks around that. And I think there's going to be a thawing of the relationship between New Zealand and Australia, because with South Africa leaving, they're both locked in the same sand pit, chucking stones at each other, and they're going to have to get along in this part of the world and build some form of competition together. So they're going to have to, set egos and pride aside and get along and figure something out that works for the both of them.
Wow.
What are they doing? Can we stop in Australia and New Zealand thinking like, I know China's got a lot of money, but I think the supercars tried to go up there and have a Chinese leg, didn't work. I know that the NBL, they at one stage early on in the Breakers' life, they had a team in Singapore for a year. When you've got those flights that are just way too long and way out of there and they're not in the time zone, the only good thing would be perhaps if you're a Force fan and your team's playing in Hong Kong, then perhaps you've got one that might be in a slightly convenient time zone for you. But it's too far out of here. The thing is, like, if I want Australian teams, as a fan, you want to see New South Wales and Queensland first and the Brumbies third, right? Like those are the ones because those are the star figures. Like you always want those when they come in. Fiji, love it, love having them in. I watched that Fiji Drua play in some of the Australian rugby this year. They were great to have, and everyone loves having Fiji in. I'd love to see a team in Hawaii. But that again, then you've got a weird time difference thing going on there too to head up there. So the Pacifica side, I think, based in Auckland, was going to be the other one, which I saw articles during the week, which Liam might have written as well, because he probably did, because he's always the one on the pulse, with the likes of Alama Yeramia perhaps being involved in coaching or something like that. That's an interesting one. But if you're going to base a team in the Western Bay of Plenty, which is probably around Tauranga, so that means what? The Chiefs are then only Hamilton? And it's really hard to get a fan base to have it, right, this is your team now and you're going to cheer for them. Like, who are the home fans? Who are they? And it seems, again, that whoever's put this together has gone and thought, right, what dollars are going to come in to pay for this first, before they've thought of who are the people that want to watch it.
I'm the exact same as Mark. You put something up today, I reckon, listen, from an Aussie coming over here watching, the best rugby is when the All Blacks are playing Mitre 10 Cup. Now, I know people say you can't broadcast, there's not enough money, but you can sell that. That's the best rugby in the world. If you have the All Blacks playing in the Mitre 10 Cup, I believe it is the best rugby going around the world. I don't know why we're continuing Super Rugby when there's nothing else out there. I don't know.
I think Nate hit the nail on the head. It's about chasing the dollar that's available
and that's the thing.
Right here and right now, rather than focusing inward on your product and having the confidence. Now, I mean, we've got two working examples, the NBA and the NFL. And I know that they say,
but they're entirely different because you've got huge fan bases and they're old.
But
they're old as all hell. They're 60 years
but you've got to start somewhere, right? You've got to start somewhere. And rugby is old in this country. And traditionally, we've been Mitre 10 Cup fans or NPC fans. We've got around a union, a vision, and we've all been behind it. So starting with a very small marketplace and making sure that the timing's all great for New Zealanders. And also the fact that all our best players are playing in it. I understand you'll lose some players if you focus inward because there's going to be bigger salaries overseas. But
Stephen Luatua is still going to Bristol to play for more money.
Totally.
Right.
But you focus in on your product. Instead of trying to fly to China or trying to bring people in and out and play the game elsewhere, you take your product and then you sell it elsewhere. I don't understand why it's been bastardized and making trying to play it elsewhere.
Because I think what happens, though, is if you're a player and you can get a job doing that 80 minutes of play in France compared to how much Southland can pay you or compared to how much Bay of Plenty can pay you.
But look at what's happening now, though. Look at what we're about to go and do. Look at what could happen in 2022.
Yeah.
That could be the other side of it.
But because I think that's where they panic, and this is where they're caught. This is where it isn't easy, or it would just be an easy answer, and it's not easy because they're thinking, heck, if we just go with this, then the players won't stay because it's not like any of the provincial unions can get extra funding to pay for these players, because a lot of these unions can't pay for themselves.
Totally.
However, if you did take the Super Rugby away, perhaps that would mean they've got more of an exclusive chance to do this.
Yep, and more of an exclusive
something to have
broadcasting rights to be able to sell to the rest of the world.
I thought Blake made the great point too, is that it needs to have all your stars in it, and that's the problem. So the problem is, how do I convince my stars to stay here for provincialism in the hope that they'll do that? And, perhaps one night they might be standing in Napier and it's hailing or something, and you're there and you're thinking, that could be in too long.
Could we change the season to accommodate for other countries' competitions. So I remember back in the day, rugby league used to have the NRL, but then those players used to go and play in the English Super League.
It used to,
so they play a full year round.
But
Could we not do that here? Like accommodate and get the best players here, and then they can earn their dollar going over to play.
Yeah,
should be winter when they're.
But then
summer.
that's the thing you see, because now Europe have also done, because they're kind of facing the same thing. Now they've got so we've got our Premiership in England, plus we've also got a Champions League version, plus we've got this. So they've got ones in their series stretches out. Like whenever France come to play us in the middle of the year, it's always weird because the first week team is different than the second week because they're like, oh, our finals are on that week, so we're not releasing our players. I think it's one of those ones. It's one of those ones where it seems like an easy, and then when you sit down, you're like, man, that's complicated. But I don't know. That's just not a very palatable thing to me.
But that's where we're headed. Look,
I mean, I like the Pacific teams being in it, and it's great. It's great.
We'll agree on that one.
That's one we're like, yep, I would go to watch those teams. I like that. I'd be interested, and I would watch. I'm not at all interested in having a team that's not in Australasia.
The Chinese
really.
Lions?
No, I'm not. No, because they just seem weird being based in.
Show me their mascot
Bay of
before
Plenty.
you. Show me the mascot before you cut them out.
Actually,
damn, the Sunwolves.
If they've got that Sunwolves crack fox, that was the best mascot.
That's
of
next
all time.
level. So here's my thing: you're going to lose a whole heap of players. You're going to lose them, but there's also the pulling force that, Nate, you're aware of just how much talent is out there, right? You're aware of just how much talent is coming up through the grades.
So are NRL scouts, so overseas clubs, so Japanese clubs.
But a lot of those kids go because they don't get to see. They're like, I'm not quite going to make it. If there's a massive clear out of top end players and they go and play in Europe, and we focus inward and we make this Super Rugby, we get rid of Super Rugby and we get Mitre 10 Cup to be our prime product, and the All Blacks and the best players are all playing in it, and they know this is where you get your All Black jersey. You'll get enough quality coming through. You'll still have a high-end class product that's better than anywhere else in the world. Like, you go one weekend, go and watch high school rugby. The talent
it's crazy.
is
it's crazy
like,
good. They're so organised. They're so skilled.
We are not in any way going to lose a high-end quality worth of rugby if we lose some of those top-end players straight away, because the people who are chomping at the bit, really rearing to go and don't get the opportunity and do go to a league or do go elsewhere or do go over to Japan, like these people are just waiting in the wings. They will come up through the ranks, and it will still have great rugby, and we'll be able to make money off it.
Yeah. Is there a way we can push this back and go nearly, but no.
Maybe not the Lions.
No geniuses. No. No.
I don't think we get a say. We don't get a say. Someone who does have a say and joined us earlier on in the week, Mr. Cameron George, CEO of the Warriors, and left us a signed Warriors jumper for our.
Oh, look at that!
You see that?
Right there.
I don't know why I made that such a curious movement. Signed a 2020 Warriors jersey for us to put in the studio.
Down to rugby league.
Down to rugby league. He had some stirring thoughts that he shared with both Blake and I on the League in Order podcast. Here they are.
2020, once March hit, and then COVID and the lockdown and so on, I think it was set up to break our club. But in fact, when I look back now, 2020 made our club. And it defined our values, it defined who we were. Like, you can go and put all these beautiful, big words up on the wall that, we all think that's what our club's built on. But I think what this year did is show us what our club is and what it is built on. And sometimes situations like this come about to actually set your future up. And I think with that in mind, the players actually got belief out of it. They thought, hang on. We've been doing it tough for X amount of years, and we've been whinging about this and that, travel and so on and so on and so on. Actually, we're as tough as anyone here. We're doing it tougher, but we're actually winning. It put everyone in an uncomfortable position that made them reach into their kit bag and pull out one thing that you can't train for, you can't buy. It's belief, and that's the stuff that COVID-19 has delivered for us this year. Now, when you believe in yourself, mate, you can do anything you want. And all those teams turned up with all their tricks and all their plays and all that stuff. They couldn't break our belief. And that's what kept us in those games. And then we're probably short on quality in certain areas at certain times just to close out games. That's all it was.
Yeah.
That's the stuff the coaches will bring and our recruitment will bring to build on that belief factor.
I just want to thank him for pointing at me when he
I
said
thought
quality.
You said no, I thought you said lack of quality. Just to finish.
Quality, and pointed at me with quality.
Quality,
Thanks for that,
quality,
mate. Thanks, buddy.
He's a goose.
He did point at me when he said quality, didn't he?
He said we were lacking in quality.
So, and also we didn't see, but we asked him about, the player changes. And he said, I don't do any of that. We leave that to Peter O'Sullivan. I said, so it was Sully that got rid of me. He goes, well, I actually had a bit to do with you. I was like, oh, thanks, Cam. Yeah, sweet.
Mate, fizzing.
Just go, I believe.
Fizzing belief.
Yeah.
Belief, that's what we got out of the 2020 season.
You can coach belief. That's what Gilbert.
Well, no.
Gilbert and Oka does that.
No.
That's what they do.
Shut your mouth, Nathan.
Mate, you weren't here, Nato.
You were not here.
I know.
in the room.
Jeez.
I couldn't help
Massive
it.
big tank of Kool-Aid over there.
My face just went,
Drinking 10.
and I started clapping, and I was just like, yes.
I was like ready.
That's how they get you every year.
He also shared, he did share with us the plan for the 2021 season.
Yes. Yeah. So obviously this year I went over with the boys and we flew over, and you just don't know about when the border's going to be open, and they had no plan. So we were like, oh, we might go home next week, we might not, and we all know the end result. They're there for the whole year.
Yeah.
So next year they got a plan going forward where the New Zealand-based players will train and do pre-season here with Nathan Brown, the coach.
Right.
And the Australian players and some of the Kiwi boys that have stayed there will do a pre-season over in Kiama, which is on the south coast of New South Wales.
Yeah.
And then we'll meet up in January at either Terrigal or Redcliffe. And they have 3 blocks planned. Are you getting this?
Yeah.
No,
I don't know where those places are, but I'm with you. They're in Australia.
All
yeah,
right.
and it'll be warmer.
So
than
the
here.
3 blocks, so they go over January 4th till May is their first block.
Yeah.
And if the borders do open in February,
They still committed. So
they're
they stayed in
committed
that
till
block.
May.
Okay, right. So that's
Yep.
a whole. We don't even
Yeah.
have to worry about changes. We're just doing.
We're
our
there,
thing.
and they've got
Okay.
everything sorted out. So they've
Yeah.
got their 3 blocks.
Up to date with home and away.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good.
Exactly. So he didn't name the rest, but he also spoke about Adam
Oh,
Fanua
yes.
Blake, didn't he?
Adam Fanua Blake.
We tried to get something out of him.
Yeah.
We say.
But the good thing about Adam Fanua Blake that he mentioned was the idea that he may be fielding phone calls constantly about other players who have heard or seen the signing.
Oh, they want to be part of the culture.
They want to. Well, not the culture. Thank you. No, I know what that is. It's a jab. You're being silly now. I know what you're
Oh,
doing.
yeah,
there.
that's what he's saying. They wanna
No,
be
they're
part
not
of-
part of the
it's
culture.
like
They
heat
would like
culture.
to play
It's like
with.
heat.
They would like to play with the types of the Adam Fanua Blake.
Yes.
Mates.
Not
And
necessarily- yes.
Buddy mates.
So everyone, keep
Yeah.
your eye out
All right. Okay.
because there could be a couple big signings. And he did say that we're come out this season in a good position because all the teams are a bit strapped and they're going to get rid of some players, new coaches going in, and they might say, oh, hang on, Barrett goes in and says, we don't like you guys, or someone goes in the Dragons, we don't like you guys, you can go look for other clubs,
He made this noise, Nate.
and we can bring them.
He clipped his fingers and he goes, now we're actually in a really good position now to just sit back, relax, and watch the other teams do movements.
Yep. And we can just go, hang on, you fit us, you're a great player, come here.
This is where we want to be.
Exactly. So next year, Nate,
That's our year.
Raiders to the
That's the year.
Warriors.
We've
There it
got
is.
belief now. So obviously your Raiders, how do you think they rate this weekend? They'll get through. Easy money.
Yeah. Easy.
Easy money.
Close
Sharks
game.
worst
Close
team.
game.
Do you know what it is?
Close
Do you
game.
know who's playing them? Diogo Costa. Oh, Polo. Sorry,
Yeah, I
Polo
was gonna say
Costa.
Polo Costa.
Diogo
Diogo
sorry,
Costa, is it?
not the soccer player.
It's going to be a lot closer than
Polo
Yeah.
Costa.
And finally, before we leave, thank you so much to Matt Walsh, who said, yep, all good to go, and didn't come on. We will get a hold of Matt Walsh, of course, former Miami Heat player. You guys would have watched Game 1 of the NBA Finals. What a hiding. Miami Heat came out hot. I was like, oh, wow. And then just got absolutely blitzed. I think they were down by 13 at one stage, the Lakers, and then they were up by 17 at the half. They had 30-point lead at one stage, and they rested all their starters, and were just like, this is terrible. It was not, I guess it actually went the way we thought it might go.
Well, because all season, though, people have been looking for Antetokounmpo versus Leonard in the finals.
That's what
Right.
we were after.
Which we are, and we got it. So I'm keeping a watch on that. You'll see it on our Facebook page. So Giannis's brother, of course, plays at the Lakers, and Myers Leonard plays at the Heat. Both of them today recorded stat lines of DNP. So they were neck and neck so far in the who's winning between Antetokounmpo and Leonard race, and I'm keeping an eye on that.
I actually have to explain in great detail because I've
Yes.
just realised. You're playing on the Kawhi Leonard rather than Miles Leonard. Yeah. And then
Giannis.
and then the Giannis, the
There you
young.
go. There's
I see what you've done there. So it's the final that everyone had been picking. Nate's keeping an eye on. We'll keep it going on our Facebook page. Hey, good luck in fantasy this week if you're playing fantasy football.
Fantasy shit.
The big dog. Oh, another
Send me
win
your
for the
fantasy
Vampire.
Premier League links. I'm doing better in that one this year.
Do not try and get out
No,
of
I'm
it.
soccering.
Craig
I'm playing
Rogers
the
says the dollar. You guys' thoughts in this professional age of sport and income opportunities, especially during 2020? Do the All Blacks really need to be back for Christmas Day if they have to do the full 14 days ISO? Should they bite the bullet and go with the Rugby Championship? Are they going to, aren't they?
Yeah,
they'll
I
have
think
to.
they're going to, aren't
Yeah,
they?
I think they'll have to, Craig. I know what you're saying. It's not ideal,
It's a
but
decent match fee to not get paid.
yeah. And how shabby has World Rugby and Sansa and all this shit been over the last few days?
That's what I mean.
Shabby.
It's the flat. It's the flat hates each other.
Yeah.
They hate each other.
John Eels is coming back and Gregan, and we'll be right. Australia.
Dusty and old. Bad luck, Australia. Hey, thank you guys for watching. Thank you so much. We'll be back next week. Thank you for all your comments. Thank you for all your likes. Have you got any more? Have you got another? We're not going until you've got that last shuttle done.
Oh, last shuttle done. Okay.
Last shuttle.
Okay, here he goes.
Hey, come on, the bay!